Ladies and gentlemen, children of all ages, welcome to the preview of Mr. Pandaria heroic modes, and this time we're going to be having a look at Siege. The Siege of Niuzao Temple. That's a very hard thing to say. Anyways, let's get down to it. The first boss we're going to be having a look at is Vizier Jinbak. Now the first thing you'll notice when you enter the room is he's channeling some sort of magic into a puddle on the ground. This puddle is extremely important. The puddle will grow over time, dealing nature damage to enemies it hits, but standing in it will also increase your damage done while taking a tick in AoE damage over time and decrease the size of the puddle. The bigger the puddle are when Vizier Jinbak then uses Detonate, the more damage you take. The Vizier can also choose to summon 3 sap globals from around the room. It's important that your DPS focus them down immediately, because if they reach the pool in the middle, it will expand ginormously and could potentially wipe your group very easily. The way we did it here was I was basically taking all the damage from the puddle, resetting my stacks every so often not to give the healer too much trouble, and killing the globals without any problems whatsoever. The globals currently on heroic have about 80k health, but I assume they are going to be tuned somehow before it hits live. That's pretty much all there is to this fight, so enjoy your loot. The next boss is Commander Bojack, and I actually missed the party just a little bit. So, there is 2 stages to this boss. The first one is a gauntlet where he will send waves of his minions towards you, and the second one is the boss himself. The minions consists of several different types of creatures, but the most important mechanic of this fight is the Caustic Jaw. Now, 2 pandas will assist you in this, and they will create Caustic Jaws that will stand on top of a stairway. Using these will grant you the ability to throw a Caustic Jaw at a group of enemies. Enemies hit by this Caustic Jaw and standing in the residue afterwards will take increasing amount of damage, and will also increase the damage they take by 10% for each stack, and this stack can go as high as possible. After bringing down the adds, you will engage Commander Bojack himself, and he has 3 simple abilities. The first one is Rising Speed. He will continuously focus his will and determination, increase his attack speed by 10% every 2 seconds, and this effect stacks. In addition, he will also do something called a Dashing Strike, while he would dash to a random enemy player, inflicting a rough 50k physical damage to all enemies passed through. The strike also knocks back his current target, inflicting another 100k. Immediately after using Dashing Strike, he will then charge into Thousand Blades, where he will spin around in a whirlwind-like stance and remove any caustic tar effect on him. Our tank here didn't seem to have any problem pulling 2 warriors and the boss himself, so imagine that is probably a little bit undertuned right now. The gauntlet itself doesn't seem to be that difficult, especially when you use the Caustic Tar right. But I want to point out that it's slightly bugged in the beta right now, so I can't actually tell you much about the gauntlet itself, since we just ran down the stairs, pulled every single mob, and AoE'd them down. The Caustic Tar is a bit overpowered as it is right now, because it does such a huge amount of damage, in addition to increasing the damage the mobs take by insane amounts. Without too much trouble, you should get an achievement if you're lucky, a bugged achievement might just want to point out, and your loot. Alright, next boss. Let's have a look. It is General Pavelec. Now, this boss is kind of interesting because he has a couple of unique mechanics. First off, he has Blade Rush. The general will throw his sword at a random player's location, inflicting 100k physical damage. In addition to this, he will then immediately charge to it afterwards, dealing damage to anyone in between him and his sword. Periodically through the fight he will also summon a Tempest, dealing around 50k magic damage to any player within 60 yards and negating 30k points of healing on the targets. This is, however, dispellable. When General Pavelec reaches 65 and 35% remaining health, he will then shield himself in a bulkwood and summon reinforcements. These small ants are easily AoE down and shouldn't be taken into consideration. What you do have to focus on is the bombs that lands on the floor. These ticking bombs will slowly tick down and actually explode if you're not fast enough to use them. Use them to explode the shield on the boss himself and increasing the damage you take by 10% for each stack. Sorry, that's not actually correct, it is 5%. However, be careful. If you're standing in the explosion, just for demonstration purposes, as I will show in a little bit later in this video, you will actually take the 10% or 5% damage increase as well, plus the explosion. So be extremely careful. Not much to say about the ads themselves. They are pretty easy to take care of and pretty easy to AoE down if your tank just gets a good AoE threat on them. Or, as I will show you here, a well-placed misdirection. Have at least one or two of your ranged or melee DPS focus on taking down the bombs and the boss himself. Granting that extra damage increase on the boss is a huge bonus and should always be taken into consideration when doing this boss. Hopefully he will be tuned a little more to live, because right now he's a little weak. And as you can see right here, if you take the explosion, you will take the damage increase and you will take a rough 200k damage. So be sure not to stand in it. Alright, next and final boss, and the funniest boss I've seen yet in Miss Pandaria. This boss is the Wing Leader Niuzao. Very wicked name. I'm just gonna call him the Wing Leader from now on, for, you know, just for good sake. The main ability he has is the Caustic Pitch, where he will throw out a little puddle on the ground of amber magic. If you stand in it, you take damage. It's as simple as that. He also has a Hurl Brick ability, which will do main damage to the tank and doesn't do a huge amount. He can also do Quick Dry Resin, which will spray his target with heating resin, dealing damage over time and encasing them in resin and making them unable to move or act for 6 seconds should they take the full duration. And here comes the fun part, the Gusting Winds and the Treacherous Winds. As you can see, and to clear your way towards the boss through the trash packs, you will go side to side in between these walls of jars. Now these jars become extremely important during the second phase, because the Wing Leader will start channeling Gusting Winds, pushing you backwards every single time it lands. And it's just great. It's a fun little mechanic. It's extremely great to watch, and it's just fun. It's a fun mechanic, and I really wish that they put more effort into making fun mechanics instead of just focusing on getting new content out, because the fun mechanics is what makes everything just seem fantastic. And especially this instance design is just brilliant, because there's so many new mechanics, so many fun things just to do. After 1 or 2 jumps from each side of the platform to the other, you should have this boss down without any problems whatsoever. Again, beta is beta, so don't take too much away from this fight other than the key mechanics and how it should work. Hopefully they will also tune this fight to be a little more interesting, a little more hard, I suppose. Overall, I think that the siege of Niuzao Temple, God, that's a hard word, is actually really well designed, and some of the boss mechanics are just great, like especially, for example, this Gusting Winds. It's just great, it's fun, and I hope to see more of it in the future. Anyways guys, that was about it for me in this video. My name's been Relaxation, and there's gonna be more videos. Oh, there's gonna be more videos coming, so keep your eyes peeled on my channel if you want any more, and feel free to hit that subscribe and like button if you liked the video. Until next time guys, I'll see you in the mists.